Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20ZoneTv. Full panel tonight to discuss the decline of West Ham United Football Club. Before I get started, please do smash like on the video, subscribe to E20ZoneTV, and hit notification bell. Boys, how are we all?
Oh my god! Oh, fucking Rashford just hit the post in the first 20 seconds.
Well, how are you, Mitch?
I'm good, thanks, mate.
He's always got to make it about himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, I know, mate. He always does. Lucas, what about you? You good?
I'm all right. No complaints.
No complaints indeed. Right, might as well get into this early then, lads. Because obviously I done the after thought the other day. None of yous were on there, so I'm gonna get your thoughts. I'm gonna start off with Mitch. Mitch, tell me what the hell's going on at West Ham, mate, with Potter.
I think anyone and I had this discussion with Lucas last night. I think anyone that puts all the blame on Potter, all the blame on the players, is very naive. I think no one knows really where the blame fully lies. I think it's somewhere in the middle where it's to do with Potter and the players. The performances under Potter have been very boring, underwhelming. It's been obviously the odd game where it's been alright. I think Bournemouth we played alright at home. Arsenal away obviously was good. Villa away in the cup. But besides from that, I think every single game we've just lacked any attacking threat whatsoever. We don't know how to create chances. And it's weird because some players have actually been playing quite well, but we're just not getting any results. Like if you look at certain players individually, they've been playing. You look at how they play each game. They're like a lot of players are playing alright, but there's just no idea. There's just no like one-touch passing. It's all like
I'm gonna get into this video, right? Because I understand what you're saying there about you can't blame both sides, but you can to a point with Potter because he's here to impress us at the minute, and he isn't impressing us. Simple as that. And when
but he's not. Is he all to blame though, James?
Well, he's part to blame for this.
Yeah, 100%. But so's the players as well.
But the thing is, when you've got a major rebuild coming up, can you trust this geezer to go out, get all the players that he needs, and be better next year? And that's the $1 million question for me. Lucas, what are you saying about recent events, Southampton included?
Yeah, so I wasn't able to watch it live as I was at work, and I'm not gonna lie. Normally, I'm very superstitious about missing matches, and I'll like turn my phone off, do not disturb, and as soon as I get home from work, I'll watch it live like nothing's happened. And boy, was I fucking stupid. I was like, you know what, Southampton at home. You know what, today's not been too hard. I'll just keep up with it as time goes on. And it wasn't great from what I've seen on Twitter and obviously throughout the journey of just refreshing. And then I seen some stuff, refreshed, saw the result, and I went back and watched the first half. I didn't think the first half was as bad as what people are saying, but then the second half, we scored, but then, of course, like certain subs take our foot off the gas, and just not a result that is acceptable, really. Southampton are one of the worst Premier League sides of all time. So, I mean, it is what it is. But in terms of what you were saying, like, can Potter be the guy we can trust going forward? It's not really up to us, is it? I think he's really our only option right now, unless someone miraculously gets sacked who is a clear upgrade. But we are in this position for some really dumb reasons when I thought we had it pretty good, but as we've quickly seen, things can go very south very fast, and now everyone's starting to complain. There's a lot of people who were very vocal about getting someone out, and now they seem to back a manager who
is similar.
I don't know why he's being backed so heavily when they were very critical.
Moyes should have gone last year. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying it's weird. It's weird how vocal they are now about backing a manager, but someone with a resume.
I will get into this. I will get into this with you, all you tonight.
Lucas, although where I do agree with what you're saying, and I'm not one of them people, but it's a very different situation. Moyes was here for years. Things was getting stale after a while.
I'm not a flip-flop, though. There are people that are literally defending Potter right now, really to the hill, but we're very vocal of getting someone out because of the way they played, their style of play.
The thing is, though, Mitch,
now we're back to some Warburton, esque football. And again, I even tweeted at you, Fever, when you were doing the space. Like, in my opinion, it's not really a West Ham thing. It's just the style of play. And I'm not here to say that the style of play is right or wrong, because we've all seen that style of play work and not work throughout all of world football. But I don't know. We're just in a tricky situation where we really, who else can we go out and get?
I will ask Jay this in a minute, but just to say this, like, all the blame should be on Sullivan for the appointment of Lopetegui in the first place, because that's where it's gone wrong. Like last year, I said you can get rid of whoever, you can get rid of Moyes if you think Moyes is the man to go. Get rid of him, but you need to bring in a proper replacement. I think with Potter at the minute, I am concerned. I've been saying it for a few weeks, and the afterthought proved it on Saturday when people were coming on and they're showing their concern. Jay, what are you saying about recent events?
I think your concerns about Potter, I hear you, and there's people who are already calling for Potter to be out, and we live in this era of instant gratification. Something's not, you don't like something, then you can change it immediately and get whatever you want. But that just ain't how it works. So here's the thing. We were talking about Potter's tactics the other day, and we were told that it was because we were playing 3 at the back, and that we can't play 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-3 or something like that.
Right.
Now we played a 4-2-3-1 that everyone wanted. We were just as shit as we were when we played 3 at the back. For 75 minutes, we left that 11 players out there, and we were abject. We were crap. We were absolutely rubbish. So it ain't the tactics. There's definitely a group of players there that are long in the tooth and need to be moved on. We need a big clear out. I think the problem within the club is existential. I do think a lot of the fans have got to just be realistic with what to expect for the rest of the season. I'm not saying it's acceptable. I was misquoted the other day for saying that I think this is acceptable. I don't think it's acceptable, but I'm just realistic with the fact that this group of players are not good enough, mate. So
if Potter's playing this system, then it's on Potter. Ultimately, if he's trying to play a way where the players, he's not going to get a tune out of the players for the way he wants to play, then why, for this season, towards the end of the season, is he playing a way which is setting us up for failure?
I think the problem I've got, mate, is this group of players have been shit under 3 managers now. You go back to the end of our time under David Moyes, they were crap. We compounded it with some bang average signings. They were crap under Lopetegui. You bring in Graham Potter, they're crap under Graham Potter.
The thing is, at the moment, we cannot create fuck all.
Agreed, mate.
I don't think we've had a goal scoring problem as bad as this at the minute.
So there's and that's exactly my point, Mitch. Like anyone who wants to go at Graham Potter early, then you have to look at, first and foremost, who's he got creating chances and how many strikers has he got? He's had Fulkrug fit to start.
But don't you think, though, Jay, this is a bit concerning for next year? That if it doesn't kick into gear straight away, we are in the fucking shit. Yeah, literally, because we're not scoring many goals. It proved a lot to me on Saturday when you play Southampton. West Ham of old go through Southampton, no problem at all. That ends up being a 2-0, 3-0 win. Yeah, and it was just.
Dare I say, even under Lopetegui, I think we go through Southampton.
Yeah, and the thing is, shout out to Tony. Everyone knows who Tony is. But he turned around and said, if it wasn't for Julian Lopetegui getting the wins in the first place, we'd be in a relegation battle right now. Like, if Potter would have come in earlier, we would have been in shit right now.
We don't know that. We truly do not.
I don't know about this one, Lucas.
Because
you can't blame. You can't say he hasn't got the players and he hasn't got the tools to do the job.
But what if Potter had a full? Okay, if we can play that game all day long. What if Potter got appointed in the summer, had a full summer, and
but he hasn't got. Now? He's got appointed now, though, hasn't he? And the thing is, and I'll say this to all you.
Who cares about what Lopetegui did? He's part of the reason why we are shit.
I understand that, but you've got to look at it from this side, this current side right now, right? If we can't beat Southampton, and I've got the list here of all the players that look like they could be out the door, and I'm going to go through that in a little while, but to go and change it in one window under Graham Potter, who's not known for scoring loads of goals, he's an XG merchant, we all know it. how that's going to change next year. And my biggest fear next year is if we go 1-0 down, do we have the firepower to spin a game round? I don't think we have. And that is where I'm fucking shitting it, man, if I'm being
Again,
honest.
everything rests on the summer transfer window. As the news come out today of Kudus, looks like he's leaving and Paqueta's going.
Yeah.
That's two of our that's about so 2/3 of our attack.
I'll go through it right now with you, right? And just like everyone in the chat, I will get to the chat shortly, yeah? Apparently, this is the list of players that's leaving or looking to leave. Kudus, Paqueta, Alvarez, Suchek, Sufal, Antonio, Ings, Rodriguez, Mavropanos, Cresswell, Fabianski, Luis Guilherme, Irving, Emerson.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
See
but
you later.
Mitch, this is the problem that we've got though. We're going to try and do a major rebuild with a manager that doesn't score many goals. That's a recipe for disaster. This is big time. If he has to get this spot on, he can't get this wrong. Otherwise we're in the shit. I don't know about anyone else.
I know what you're saying. The thing is with Somerville coming back, if Fulkrug stays fit and he chooses to stay over the summer, I think he will be good for us next season as well. Obviously Bowen. You've still got your season like players that have done all right so far at West Ham or very good. That will almost be like a guarantee to do all right. Obviously, I know you lose out Paqueta, and you don't really have anyone in the middle then. So you would be relying purely on the summer transfers. I get what you're saying with that, but there's a risk in football and everything, mate. I think yes, there is more of a risk in this summer transfer window under Potter, but I don't know. I like very much in the middle. Like I think Potter is probably more to blame for recent results, but you asked me tomorrow, and I might change my mind. I'm very much. I think it's really hard to point the blame.
Well, let's put it this way, right? Just before I get to Lucas, yeah, right. We've got Brighton coming up the weekend, then we've got Spurs. If we get to Spurs and we haven't won a game and we get done by Spurs, this is the worst Spurs side going. I'm going to be honest. I don't want the fucker here because he's more of a problem than he is a fucking solution at the end of the day.
I mean, mate, even if he beats Spurs, is that really going to shift anyone's mind? Say if we lose to Brighton, beat Spurs, or vice versa. In my opinion, that's not really going to change anyone's opinion.
Again, it depends on how. I think it depends on how we go about beating Spurs.
Yeah.
And like Mitch was saying, and I was going to agree with this point, there's always risk in football. There's risk trying to push on. There's risk taking 2 steps or 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like, you're always going to have to take a risk. And this summer is going to be another summer where we're going to be risking either way. Being passive in the window, being aggressive in the window. You're just going to have to take the risk. There's always risk. And we really have no other option because, again, what are we going to do? Sack Potter, rebuild again to a point? Like, you got to give the guy some time.
Yeah, but I think
that is where I agree. That is where I think Luca makes a fair point because then what? Then you ain't got. Then how do we get a new manager in over the summer that can look at our players and know exactly what we need? Potter will probably be the best option to know what we need.
I get what you're saying. I get it. I get everything. I'll come to Jay shortly because I want to try and get everyone's point on this tonight. Yeah, I really do. Right? I get what you're all saying. But we are asking for a summer window to be absolutely peach perfect.
I'm not.
It doesn't. I don't think it has to be perfect though. I don't think it has to be good.
Okay.
It has to be good.
Perfect for what? For what? What are your expectations for next season?
Right, I'll tell you why it's got to be perfect, right? Because there can't be no players need time to bed in on this one. Because there's too many of them that are leaving. If you get rid of your Sufals, your Sucheks, your Paquetas, your Kuduses, any player that comes in, especially in the attacking third, got to hit the ground run straight away. You can't give them a year to bed into the club.
We say that every year, and it never happens.
I think I'm going to be straight before I hand it over to Jay. Yeah, I think people are being naive. I'm going to be honest. I think people are being naive on this one.
You don't think it's naive to think that we need every single transfer to hit the ground running because it's not going to happen. And it never will. It never will happen.
On this one, we definitely do. Like, because I'm going to be honest. Yeah, tell me tell me how it ain't going to be active. Because right, we've got no creativity. Right, we've got no goal scorers. We've got a German who's come out and had a go at his own team. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of problems here. Go on, Jay. I'll let you land on anything you want to say.
I hear what you're saying. I think the issue I've got with that is there's a couple of things. First and foremost, you're right. We need to have a good transfer window because we need like 8 players.
We always need a good transfer window.
And this is the point. Irrespective of who you've got sat in a manager's dugout, we need a good transfer window because the squad is they're the 11 players that are on a pitch kicking the ball about. And a load
but
of
this is the biggest. I do agree with James in that this is probably the biggest transfer. If we do lose Paqueta and Kudus or one of
you know how many times I've heard this is the biggest transfer window?
It is the biggest one, though.
No,
but this is the biggest. But this is the biggest one.
6 years.
No, but this is different. No, this is the biggest, Lucas.
Can I just say on the Paqueta and Kudus thing? Kudus have got 3 goals, 2 assists in the Premier League this season. You offer me anywhere north of like 65 million for him, I'll fucking rip your arm off for it. Think about what you could invest 65 million quid in at the moment. 5 goal involvements for supposedly a world-class player.
I agree.
That's shambles. Absolute shambles. So people saying if we lose
in big games, he has been a good ball carrier. Yeah, but against Arsenal, if we didn't have Kudus for that game, even though he didn't score assists.
Cool. Yeah, totally fair. I'll completely agree with you on that. I thought it was brilliant that day. But, mate, it's about more than just one game. It's about a whole season. Yeah. Over the whole season, he's had the same amount of games suspended for slapping someone up as he has goal involvement.
Yeah, but has anyone been good this year, though, Jay, apart from Wan-Bissaka?
No, and that's the point. That's the point I'm making, that the 11 players that are on the pitch, no matter what 11 you've got out there, no matter what style of play they're trying to play, no matter what formation you've got, they've been crap. They've been absolutely crap.
The ratio is off. The ratio is so far off. You have probably about, in my opinion, 50 to 60% of players who are trying to claim their spot for next season. And then you got the other half who they've got one foot out the door. They can't wait to get out. So again, Potter, in my opinion, can only do so much. He really can.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like on this one, I understand what Jay's saying about Kudus. Don't get me wrong, but I think Kudus has had a bad season, but I don't think he's a bad player. I really don't. Like people go like he's lazy, he's this and that, but he was under a manager that's playing him in the wrong position multiple times. He's under a new manager now that, let's have it right, can't attack. Like Potter doesn't know how to.
Whose fault is that besides our own? We literally brought in a player who we knew his strength is to play on the same side as Bowen.
Well, it is.
We all knew that. That's on us.
Yeah,
I don't care how world class
his favorite position is the 10 though.
Yeah.
And what has he done in the 10 for us? He's done absolutely fuck all.
Well, then that's on Kudus as well.
Yeah, to a point.
Yeah, but the whole overall point is we're all at a fault. It's everyone. It's a collective.
So let me get into your mindset, all 3 of you, right? Because my mindset is that I'm very fucking shit scared, worried about the summer because I know Sullivan's going to have his grubby little fucking mitts all over it. That's the biggest fear with me. I'm going to be honest, because once a lot of money comes in, we might get 60, 70 million for a player, but he's only going to fucking dish out about 25. Like it's what he does. Yeah. And people go, no, it's going to be different this year. It ain't. So tell me what you expect this summer moving forward to next season, because don't forget, Potter's got a 1-year break clause in his contract. What happens at the end of the season?
Real quick, I don't want to go first. Someone else can, but I expect Todibo to hopefully play more 90-minute matches.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to congratulate him
on
playing his first 90 against Southampton the other
day.
He
needs to sort his fucking fitness out over the summer. That's for sure. 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? Right. Jay, I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
I mean, look, we need a load of signings, don't we? But if you're, and quite rightly, a lot of people's concern here is what David Sullivan's capable of doing in the transfer window. So why are we directing all of our negativity towards Graham Potter? Because, like I say, you could sack Graham Potter in the summer. David Sullivan could have a shocker in a transfer window, and you've left a new manager who's been there for 6 games, who then is going to get hounded out the door. And then you've got 3 ex-managers who are going to be on the payroll. Because if we have it the way that most of our fans want it to go, we're turning to Watford. And we'll have a new manager every 3 to 4 months, and then it'll be fucked. When the problem is existential. Yeah, the problem is existential in the club. We know what the key problem is the guy up top. So why are we directing all the blame on Potter for a transfer window he hasn't even had yet? We've brought in Carl McCauley to be alongside him, the guy who masterminded his recruitment at previous places. And we're still blaming Potter already and saying he doesn't deserve the summer window. Like, give him the chance to actually do something. And if it's Sullivan's fault, blame Sullivan. Stop blaming it on a guy who sat in the dugout.
Lucas, go on, mate.
I mean, how do I follow that up? Honestly, he's taking the words out of my mouth. What was the exact date that we brought in Graham Potter?
December, late December, wasn't it?
No, it weren't. It was just after the City game, which was on the 2nd, I think it was, or the 4th of January, and then we had the FA Cup game. That's when it was.
So I mean,
fucking hell, City away,
He had the he had the toughest window in all of world football business to try and get some players in. And granted, we got the loan wrong. It turned out absolute shit. Evan Ferguson hasn't done a fucking thing.
And that is also on Potter as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, really, what Jay said, I can't really echo anything else.
What about you, Mitch?
Me what?
What do you expect from Potter next year?
It's so look. It's extremely harsh and unfair to sack him before he gets to summer transfer window, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Mitch,
as a manager comes in,
I was going to ask you this quickly. If he was in a caretaker role, would you want to keep him?
He's ifs and buts. He's not.
But he's not in a caretaker role though. He's not.
Yeah, but this is his sort of trying to impress us, so to speak. Like, he's trying to impress us, isn't he?
He ain't impressed.
How can he? How can he? How can he? How?
No, if he can't, he can't beat fucking Southampton, Lucas,
because he's not shown any fucking tactical prowess. I mean, the substitutions on the weekend to go defensive and sit back and absorb all the fucking pressure was fucking.
And that ain't the first time he's done that. He done that against fucking.
And I agree. He hasn't impressed me, and I think if he and I get Lucas's point where he's saying how can he, because he's not using his players. As a professional Premier League manager, you still should show some sort of signs. To be 17th with our squad ain't acceptable, no matter how you look at it, in my opinion. But yes, he still deserves more of a chance, in my opinion. I think he does deserve the summer transfer window, at least, to rebuild, because I do think there is no cohesion in the squad at the minute as well, which again will have a bad effect. But yeah, give him the summer transfer window. But we need to make signings early, very early, and see how it goes.
Right. Let's talk about Nicholas Füllkrug, because he comes out at the weekend and he's actually branded a fucking hero.
I love the man. I fucking love Füllkrug.
And I've got to be honest, I haven't been his biggest fan this year, because I don't like, he's been injured and all that. But him coming out, I thought, fair play to you, mate. You're saying exactly what the fans.
Lucas don't like it. Lucas don't like it.
Well, we will get to Lucas in a minute, but
I never said that.
You like?
Jay,
I'm not sure.
Jay, what did you make of his comments?
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong in anything he said, is he? Like, I don't know what to make. It's probably like some home truths that the players needed to hear. I just hope like that he's gone and backed it up in the dressing room and said exactly the same to everyone's faces, because it doesn't seem like we have that in the squads. I thought he was bang on. Like it does always feel like we score a goal and then we just go, cool, let's just defend deep and hold on to a 1-0. He said it's half the players, not the manager. You don't know what the truth's probably somewhere around there. Who even knows? But like
that's what I'm saying. There's so many things here and there, and people want to go after Potter, but Füllkrug literally said what Jay just said. It's not really on the manager; it's the player's mindset. And what
it was a slight dig at the manager. I'm going to be straight. It was a little bit.
The players that weren't putting the
substitutions he made did allow us to sit deeper.
Yeah. It was a bit of a dig, like to say why.
My only thing is, and obviously I know what Mitch is on about, and of course he's a shyster, tries to bill at everything out. What he said, was it true? 1,000%, and he is probably right, but it is a bit rich coming from a guy who's just been injured all season, hasn't done a fucking thing.
But see, I disagree. I don't give a fuck.
Let me finish.
I don't give a fuck if Gideon Kadua come out and said it.
Let me finish. Shut up. Is it his fault that he got injured? No, it's not. But in my opinion, I think it's just a bit rich coming from him. And should it probably be coming from someone like Bowen? Yeah, but it didn't. And that's the
But
reality.
Bowen ain't that kind of guy, is he?
It doesn't matter though. Like, this guy's been here for a cup of tea, and he's saying this stuff. It's not really.
But that says a lot. To me, that says a lot. That says a
Yeah,
lot
but
more about.
It's not the
Isn't
best look,
he-
but it's not wrong what he said.
Yeah, but
That's all I'm saying.
isn't he a player that has got Champions League experience? He's been there, seen it, done it. He's played at the highest level. Should be like, if it was someone lesser, like let's say fucking
Some
James
of them.
Ward-Prowse,
Or, yeah.
right, then I can understand what you're saying. But with Nicholas Füllkrug, I think it's a bit different, if that makes sense. I think,
Overall, I have no issue with what he said. I am just simply
thank you very much, Oliver.
analyzing
Thank you very much.
who the comment come from.
Yeah,
That's my opinion, really.
well,
The Sky Sports cunts, the pundits as well. I don't know who it was. That was sitting next to Jamie O'Hara that said about him having a poor game. I thought he played really well. I thought he played really well.
Who was that geezer? He's a striker. Can't remember his fucking name.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah. Mitch, what did you make of his comments?
I loved it. I'll be honest. I didn't see it. I know I'm probably a bit angry, so I didn't see it in any other way like Lucas did. I saw it purely as like, I fucking love you. I'm like, I want to get a post of you in my wall.
Yeah.
And I praise you every night. I've always liked Fulcrum, though. I like it. I don't know what it is. I've never liked Target Man at West Ham. He's like the first one I like. I don't know what it is. It's the German. I don't know what it is. It's German heritage.
But
Go on. Sorry.
do you
Fucking
sort of
wank
accept?
him off, why don't you?
Huh?
Do you
Sorry.
accept- do you, ignore him? Do you accept what he's saying? Like Füllkrug, like, and is he right? That's the main thing. Is he right?
We all can
100%.
agree that he's right.
100%.
Yeah, but why is it? This is the thing where it goes back to Potter again. Is why is it a senior player, well, not a senior player, a player's come out, said all that, but we can all see it as supporters of this club. It takes a geezer to come out and go on a 2-minute rant. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't get why it's gone that far when it should have been nipped in the bud ages ago. This has been ongoing in the last 6 games. We've lost 3, drew 3 in the last 6. We can't win a game at the minute, gents. Like, and that's a concern. I don't know about anyone else, but you know, like,
I think we're mentally weak as a team. Like, and you look at so the point that you raised there, Fulkrug's come from a Champions League final making team, and is used to they took was it Real Madrid? Was it that season? They took Real Madrid as far as you could go, gave them a really good game, and we go 1-0 up against Southampton and don't know how to put them to the sword. Like, the players literally do not know how to go, all right, these lot are there for the taking. We haven't done it once this season, not since Ipswich. It goes back to Lopetegui. It's not just a Graham Potter thing. It's back to Lopetegui. We were getting turned over. Anyone who was half decent was just rolling us over and putting 4s, 5s and 6s past us. And we weren't capable of winning by more than 1 goal. That this is a mentality thing amongst the players, not just the manager.
And again, when I hear this Lopetegui versus Graham Potter bullshit, you like cow shit or horse shit more. That's what I hear.
You said it, Lucas. You said it.
I understand what you're saying, right? And I'm not just saying this for the sake of being controversial and everything. But Potter's no different to fucking Lopetegui at the minute. He can hardly win a game.
Depends on who you ask.
And this myth that I keep hearing, this fucking gimmick that he's going around about, he stopped the goals going in. Fucking when he kept 2 clean sheets. And we can't even beat
but come on, we have conceded. We are a lot better defensively.
So if we keep losing games 1-0 from now to the end of the season, but it doesn't matter. He's shot the goals up. What mentality is that?
It's weak, mate. It's weak. But again, on that, and again, like, I'm not a Graham Potter fanboy or anything, but statistically, we concede 0.5 goals fewer per game. That's going to get clipped up. Statistically, we concede fewer goals. But how many 90th minute goals do we concede? It's weak mentality, mate. We don't know how to concentrate to the final whistle. That is why we've not picked up any wins and why we're not picking up points. If we hadn't have done that, we'd be higher up the table. But we have done that. We are crap when it gets to the end of a game. We can't hold on to anything. So.
I'm going to ask you a question now, right? Question on Potter. So far in his reign, he's had about 12 games. I think it is 12, 13 games, I think. If I've got that right. What would you rate him out of 10?
Fucking hell. Not very high, mate. But like
3 or 4.
What would we give Lopetegui? Like a 3?
No, well, Lopetegui was fucking 0, mate, because he was shit.
I'd
but
probably give Grandpa 4.
You give him a 4 out of 10.
I'll give Lopetegui 2, Potter a 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's the justification for giving Potter a 4? Just for
We're leaking less goals.
Right.
He's given us at least a better chance to get a result than Lopetegui ever did.
Lopetegui would have got the same, but he got docked a point for every time he had a punch up with a player.
Yeah.
Graham Potter hasn't smoked a player
yet. Yeah.
I suppose Potter hasn't had a row with a player yet. Do you know what I'm saying?
That we know of, yeah.
It is what it is. But what it is, I see it today, and I will get to the comments in a minute. Anyone who's got any questions for the boys, chuck them in the chat. I'll read them out. What do you make of Mo saying about it's 99% certain that he's going to leave?
Cheers.
What you saying?
Cool. Like we won't miss your 5 goal involvements, mate. Like I'm not being funny.
I love Mohamed Kudus as a player, and it will be a shame to see him leave. But I mean, I've said it a million times. Under Graham Potter, I can't see any position in which he thrives unless it's on the right. But then you're hindering our best player and our captain. So I think it's best for the club, and that's how I think of it. Same with Paqueta. I think that's best for the club if we sell them both.
Yeah, like I'm going to ask you something. Also, like about Jared Bowen, where does he fit with Potter next season? Because if Potter plays this sort of 3-4-3, is he a second striker? Like, or
He plays right.
It ain't going to be a right though, is it? If he plays 3 at the back,
Of course it will.
What was the question?
He tried this. Where does Bowen fit in under Potter next season? He tried this like 3-4-3 thing, and Bowen got like hung out to this graveyard shift on the right wing.
Oh, the touchline shift.
Yeah. Because Wan-Bissaka was operating in the area Bowen would be.
4-2-3-1 that match as well. Smoked.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There's a question for you, lads. If you could pick one person from E20 to take over as caretaker, who would it be?
Me, 100%.
Mitch, it's definitely Mitch.
I'll go with Mitch, mate. Do you know what I mean? Mitch would be like, drop kicking them all and, willing to fight them all, but it is what it is.
You'd have no players to fucking play. You'd have to put out the U16s.
I have to what?
Yeah, I mean, well, it definitely be Mitch on that one, but I don't know. Like,
thank you,
what are you saying on Bowen? Like, because that's another thing. Like, is he a second striker at West Ham, or is it that we're going to go with like? Because I think where he's playing on that right, it doesn't fit where the system that Potter wants to play in the future. If I'm being honest.
I tell you what, I think it was.
What is the system he wants to play? Because I damn well don't know anymore.
3-4-1-2, isn't it? That's what it is.
But
just because he played it before, I don't think he does.
Well, hold on a minute. What fucking system is he playing now? That's the system he's going to play. That's the system he's going to be playing next year.
Oh, I don't know, mate.
I don't know. I've seen 4 different formations. People are saying we look better in a 5, better in a 4. We're getting put in a spliff either way. I don't know.
Right. Let's be honest. He at Brighton, he played a 3-4-1-2.
2-1.
Do you get me? Right. At Brighton. He's been trying to play a 3-4-3 here, but it hasn't really worked, right? And he doesn't know where to put Mo in it. I don't know where he puts Bowen in it if he plays that system. West Ham's best system for me is a 4-3-3 counter-attacking side, yeah? And that's what pissed me off on Saturday when we're playing
with a non-counter-attacking man.
I think it depends on who he wants to sign in summer as well. He might have a player that's a very... Say we sign a striker in the summer that can run the channels well. Then again, it completely changes up the system. Then you can have Bowen as like a second striker, and then it makes more sense to play a system like that. Or if he signs like a proper out-and-out target man, like a Fulkrug, but someone else, then it changes with every player that he signs in the summer. So I think it's hard to say
Yeah.
what system he's going to play now.
Yeah, and we're not going to know until the summer and then the first 5 to 10 matches. Like, we're really not going to know, because what we're seeing right now, if you ask certain people, they want to experiment at the end of the season because we have nothing to play for. But then you have people that are taking these matches so to heart, and they're dead set. This is how we're going to play next season. And
I'm taking them to fucking well up, mate. I don't want to see West Ham keep getting battered every fucking.
But
week.
how can you? We've played like 4 or 5 different formations. How do you know which one we're going to play?
Yeah, but yet again that goes back to mentality. And listen, what Nicholas Falk said about mentality, that's where we're wrong as a fan base, because we should be going, no, we don't want to see this. Like you're seeing booing in the crowd at half time, at full time. Listen, I'm going to be honest. People might say about Potter, and people might back him and back him and back him. I'm a sort of person that give me something to back, and I've not seen nothing. Like, I'm not like, tell me. I'll say this to you right now before we get to that comment from Will. Yeah, name me 3 things he's done good.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Arsenal
Short
away.
up the defense. Arsenal away.
Ollie Scarl's best left wing back in the country.
I'll be honest, I've been really disappointed with Scarl's recently.
Lucas Paqueta now looks to have new life. There's 4 for him.
Mohamed Kudus, 0 red cards. Like,
Mo ain't killed
He's changed his mentality.
Yeah, I know.
But Fulkrug back into the 11.
Yeah, but you know, like, I understand what you were saying, but fuck me, we're clutching at straws here. Something Mitch just said. I want to get onto that also about Skulls. Mitch, what do you make of it with Skulls? Because is he overhyped, or is he like just need time to bed in to the club?
It's you know what? I'm just being real. I really don't think he's good enough. No? I think there's a big mental block in him where he's very worried about going forward at the minute and trying to knock it down the line and taking it past the player, whipping the ball in. I just don't think he's just got the natural attributes to be a good left back. I'll be honest. He's decent defensively, but I don't know. I think he's pretty slow. I don't think he's that great on the ball. You know, I think he's all right. A bit like a Ben Johnson, in my opinion, where he might be a good Championship player or good lower half Premier League player in the future, but I just don't see it naturally. And I think you do need a fast, bombing left back in the Premier League, or it doesn't have to be rapid, but someone that can just take it down the line or drive the ball a bit. Skulls hasn't got that. Skulls ain't got that at all.
So if I said to you right now, before I hand it over to Lucas, if I said to you right now, Carl Walker-Peters in the summer on a free, what would you say?
I would say, yeah, if you're getting rid of Soufal and Emerson, because then you obviously can cover both sides. But I would still want us to sign another left back as well, because Carl Walker-Peters ain't a natural left back, and I still think we do need a quality left back that can whip balls in from deep. We ain't had a good cross of the ball from left back for fucking years. Obviously, Cresswell, but he's been shit. A proper good all-round left back. I'll just look at all the left backs in the league, like Kirkes and Robinson. They're the type of left backs I would dream of having at West Ham.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Go on, Lucas.
I was just going to say, to answer your question, he probably is overhyped to a point, but that doesn't necessarily mean that no one has faith in him still. I think he I'm not going to predict, but he definitely can come good. But we always overhype every single youngster every single time. We just don't let them play, flourish, give them a decent floor. We always just try to say they're the next greatest thing. And I don't know. I think he does have the qualities to become a Premier League player. But again, some people take that in a different context. Like, I think he can play. I think he can definitely play in the Premier League for a long time. But that, I'm not saying he's going to be the next greatest thing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Before I hand it over to Jay, hit the like button. Goes a long way. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to E20ZoneTv. Jay, what you saying about Skulls, mate?
Yeah, just give him time, man. Like, I agree I totally agree with what Mitch said, to the point of, like, he's not good going forward, but he's also never played Premier League level football. He's played left wing for the youth team, but it's completely different kettle of fish. And we know that's where he needs to develop. He's 19 years old. Like, it's going to take a bit of time. This goes back to the point I raised earlier of, like, We want instant gratification. We want this 19-year-old kid to come in and solve all of our left back problems. I agree with Mitch. We probably need another left back if Emerson goes, just so that there's competition for the shirt. We need Kyle Walker-Peters to come in on a free just to like save Aaron Wan-Bissaka from this right wing back gimmick where he just operates in the positions Bowen should be operating in and it kills Bowen. So we do need more players, but like I think
Hammer of the year though, Jay.
Time. Yeah, I don't know.
It's not me criticising him and what he's done as a player.
Right.
It's just from what I see as a player, I don't think personally he has the attributes, and this is just my opinion. I know everyone will disagree and say he's 19, but from just what I see, I don't think he's got the natural attributes to be a top left back in the Premier League, or even a good left back in the Premier League.
I think I understand what you're saying. I disagree. I think he can be a good player for West Ham in the future. I think what it is with us, and we are known for this, we heap a load of pressure on the players, thinking that they're going to be well beaters before they've even done it.
But have we put pressure on Scholes? I don't think we have.
Player haven't we put pressure on?
Yeah, but when I say this, when I say pressure, people expect him to be our first choice left back next year. And then when he's getting cooked against Salah, people say, "Oh, it's a good learning experience," but he's getting cooked by Salah consistently, like in that game against Liverpool the other week. Like, and he hasn't been good. He hasn't been good over the last couple of weeks. He wasn't good against Bournemouth. He got subbed at half time. He wasn't good against Liverpool. And there's nothing against the kid. He's going to have bad games. I said it months ago. I said he's going to have bad games, but I want him to do well, the kid. But I think where we want to go.
He's lucky because I actually disagree with you. I actually think he's had so little pressure because we're in a season at the minute where we've got nothing to play for. We can play Everton, we can play Scholes.
Yeah, but all the eyes on him, though, Mitch.
The games aren't. Are they?
Yeah, well, they are, aren't they? I'll tell you what, all right, because the games are so dead, people are watching Scholes and seeing how well Scholes gets on. No one's sitting there going, "Oh, well, if Scholes has a shit game, it don't matter." Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't think it
but you could say that about. I think
in this climate, I don't think it really does matter if he gets
I don't think it does.
Salah.
Yeah.
Well, would you ever measure your first choice left back next year?
No. Who would?
Would you loan him out next year?
I probably wouldn't. I think he's a good enough option to keep around.
Yeah, I think he's good enough to be back up, definitely.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, keep him in the squad. He should be fighting for the shirt, but like you need someone with more experience around him to, like you say, there'll be times when he has a bad game and you need to pull him out the firing line and get someone else in.
And that's not like a bad thing. He's 19. Yeah. Now, if he was 26 and getting roasted, yank him. You're out of there.
I think that was the difference with like the Ben Johnson comparisons as well. Is we all supported Ben Johnson and wanted him to succeed, but when it got to the end of his contract and he was 24 when he left, he wasn't quite there, and he wasn't worth the money that he wanted. So it was time for him to move on. So this is opposite. Like this guy's at the start of his career. Remember when Declan Rice broke through and he was honking in a few games when he's playing at centre back, absolutely honking. And he got dragged out the lineup. They reimagined him, and he came back a much better player like the following season. It happens. This is exactly the same kind of time period when Rice came into the side. I'm not saying he's going to be the same kind of player as Rice, but to Lucas's point, this is a lower pressure way of getting him used to Premier League football. Give him a good pre-season and see what you can do next year.
Are you concerned about the goalkeeper situation at West Ham?
I think we've been concerned all season about it, like
because it doesn't.
Fabs is gone. League One West is looking like he could be second choice next year.
I think he is.
Like,
I said it. Yeah. Like, what do you make of that situation? Because Fabianski turned 40 in the week. I'll be surprised if he's here for another fucking year. Do we go out and get a goalkeeper? Now,
if we can get Kelleher for 20 million, I'd do everything in my power to get Kelleher.
Yeah, but is that the only man for you, though, Mitch? So, like,
at the minute, I think with the areas in the squad that we need to improve on, more so, I think, I think it's only worth spending a good amount of money if it is Kelleher, in my opinion, because I think he's worth it.
Because the goalkeeper front, this is another thing that worries me with Potter a little bit, is how you're going to play at the back with a goalkeeper that's no good with the ball to his feet. Doesn't really make sense.
It's going to be tough. But I think, again, the issue you got here is we need like 8-9 players next season. You add a goalkeeper to that and you say you've got to spend 20 million on a goalkeeper. Because I agree with Mitch. I really like Kelleher and he's available.
Not going for 20 million pounds.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be 30, 35, somewhere around there. So, like, it's going to be tough when you've got this big a rebuild that's needed, this amount of players. What, there's 5 players leaving because the end of their contract, 2 loans that are ending. And that's without the players that you then need to sell and replace, the likes of like Irvings and Guido Rodriguez's and Mavropanas's and stuff that just aren't good enough to play for West Ham. That's like 10 players you're going to need, plus then a goalkeeper.
Oh God,
Mate, it just
about Guido.
so,
oh my God.
Exactly. There you go. And these are players you've got to find replacements for. It's going to be difficult.
There's a question that
Freddie Potts, you could say, is his replacement.
I was
Comes
just going to say that, Mitch. Stop doing the
Sorry,
job for me,
James.
son. You know what I
Sorry,
mean?
mate.
What do you think about Freddie next year?
Like maybe a replacement for Guido Rodriguez, like as a 4th choice centre mid. But again, we can't put too. We're just talking about like Ollie Scholes and how we can't put too much pressure on this kid, and like we can't turn to Freddie Potts and go call 3rd choice centre mid, because then the second someone gets injured, you're going right, bang, here you go, Premier League football week in week out. If he's 4th choice, then yeah, fine.
Yeah, but
like, whatever.
what benefits him more? Does him going out on loan for another year benefit him more for more experience, or does being a bit part player at West Ham?
How old is he now? Do you know?
22, I think. I think he's 22.
Really?
I think
you know.
if he is that age, I think next season is the season you should try to bed him in. If it don't work and turns out he's not quite Premier League ready, then maybe look to sell him. I don't know.
21, 22 in September.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd rather have him around than as 4th choice.
Yeah.
You don't want to be signed. You need to get rid of Irvin and Rodriguez, and you've got to sign like
Irvin, man. Fuck.
Yeah. So I'd have him as like a squad player, no problem at all. But like, yeah.
So, there's no point saying who's been the worst signing this year, because I think we all know fucking Guido's been shit, and he's But anything else you boys want to add on to anything? Anything you want to discuss? Anything on your mind? You know what I mean? How long is it going to be before Potter gets a sack? You know what I mean?
31 more days, gentlemen.
I'll tell you quickly, what is the most important position do you think we need to make our priority in the summer?
Midfield.
1,000%.
It has to be defensive midfield,
couldn't name a single central midfielder who I think is good enough to be playing in that side at the moment. Like in our entire squad, there's not one. So yeah, centre mid all day.
Is it basically a complete clear out then on that midfield? Not one person stays for you.
It's dangerous when you say complete clear out though, isn't it? Because like whilst I think not a single one of them is good enough to be a starter for West Ham, the second you clear out like what's that 4 or 5 centre midfielders, if you include like Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, Souček, Guido, Irving. Like if you get rid of all of them, you need the leadership that like a Souček or a Ward-Prowse offers. If you get rid of all the dressing room leaders, then like you're just like again,
obviously
who's
nothing leadership wise about Ward-Prowse, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you don't see what happens behind the scenes, and everyone like all the reports that were coming out was how good he is behind the scenes as well, and that does mean a lot.
Well, he come back in January. And I ain't seen any fucking leadership in the team's performances.
Yeah, but don't you think that's embarrassing though, Mitch, that we have to call him back, and he's better than some of the players that were already here?
He's starting every game. Like
yeah, if I'd personally clear everyone besides from Souček, funny enough. But if I had to keep another midfielder, I would keep Ward-Prowse.
Mate, clip that, everyone. Right, he used to fucking hate Souček, and now he's saying keep him.
I wouldn't start the man next season, but. There's a place for him now.
What do
now?
You? Now. What do you make of this Souček thing? Because it seems like he don't play, and we just are nothing really.
I really, again, I don't read too much into it because again, everyone has an opinion. I think the season's dead. I really don't care if Souček's playing or not. We have nothing to play for, so I'm not going to make that a. I'm not reading too much into it personally.
I don't know. I think it's a dangerous game that we're playing by getting rid of all these players all at once. Like all the people who know the club, and you're just leaving Jared Bowen there, who's an inexperienced captain. I don't think that's a recipe for disaster for me. James has got a question here. Question for the panel: do you think Earthy has a place in the squad or another loan? What you saying? Doing all right at Bristol City.
He's just found a load of form, hasn't he? He seems to be like popping up with goals, and I've only seen clips of him, but what I've seen, I've really liked. Again, I think it kind of depends. I liked what I saw towards the end of last season. Obviously, the goal he scored right into the season was good as well. So
Yeah, against Luton.
I wouldn't be against him sticking around at least for pre-season, right to the end of August, see what he's like, see if he can do something for us, and if not, I think the ideal scenario for me is that Bristol City come up and we give him to Bristol City again in the Premier League, and hope that he gets Premier League minutes for Bristol City. That would be a great scenario. But if they don't come up and there's no easy or top quality loan that you could give him, then I'd be happy with him staying around. No issue.
Mitch, what you're saying? Earthly.
I'd loan him out for another season personally.
Does it depend for you boys where he gets loaned to though? Because it'd be nice for him. It'd be nice for him to have a loan in the Premier League, I think, because I think he's done the Championship. He's done okay from what I'm hearing. I think Bristol City fans are quite happy with him. And
Yeah,
so
he's
is
talented, but
Potts.
apparently he's a bit inconsistent. Apparently, I've heard other fans say, "Oh, he's looked good against them," but not the finished article. And this is League Two.
Yeah, I think it always
Talking
depends
about
on.
not League Two. I'm talking about. But this is not the Premier League, and I think to really be knocking the door of a Premier League side, you have to be doing it consistently, week in, week out. In my opinion.
I think it always depends on where you're sending someone on loan, because, I mean, yes, it's great if you send someone to like fucking Rotherham and they get all the minutes in the world, but they're surrounded by absolute shit.
Yeah.
With Bristol City, it's like right in between. He's going to get minutes. They're definitely not bad by any means. They're pretty mid-table. They're like the Palace of the Championship, in my opinion. And I think it's a good place. If I would send him back out on loan again, and if he has 2 good loan spells back to back in the Championship, I think that's a good sign. Definitely a positive sign.
Yeah. Well, and before we come to the end, I'll get your final thoughts on how you see it going this week, basically. Obviously, I'll be doing a preview with one of you probably at the end of the week, but what are you expecting against Brighton, mate? Because I'm expecting an hammering, if I'm being honest.
Grim.
Yeah.
I've got one word, grim.
2-0 loss.
Yeah.
Grim, sadness, disappointment, despair.
Fair play to the boys that are going up there to frighten away. I'll turn that because I'd struggle to do that.
That's why I can't get on this when people say the season's dead. I just can't get on that.
Well, it is dead for that reason.
Yeah, but Mitch, like when people say it's a dead season, you still got games to play. You still got like games to win, basically.
Yeah, but if there was something to play for, even though we've been really shit, I'd still have a bit of hope against Brighton, because there's still that part of me that might think the players might be up for this game.
Right. So let me put this to you then. Right. We don't beat Brighton, as you were saying, and I actually agree. I think we're going to get done there. How are you going to feel against Spurs? Because if we get hammered by Spurs, and this is one of the worst Spurs sides that I've seen, fucking hell, ever since I've been alive, I think.
I can't see us getting hammered by Spurs, personally.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It'll hurt for sure, but I still, again,
I will be very angry
think
with
the
Potter,
impact's
depending
that
on
big.
if it was him, his fault.
And is 17th acceptable and all? What we're at it? Because like finishing the worst Premier League side this season, like who will remain in the Premier League.
Well, it's a battle between us and Spurs and Wolves, so it's still up for contention, James. We're playing for that.
There's never
That is
something
to
to play
play
for there. Do you know what I mean? What do you say, Jay, about the upcoming week?
Yeah, I mean, it's never acceptable to be like talking about West Ham as the worst Premier League team that are gonna like be around next season. It's never acceptable to like lose to Spurs with a whimper, but like, you know, let's just hope for the best for the rest of the season. I don't expect anything because, like I say, we've had a good conversation about where the problems actually are. I just don't think this group of players are up.
What's the best? 16th?
Probably, yeah. I think we could scrape above Spurs, and we could maybe scrape above. I mean, Wolves have won like five in a row.
How miraculous would it be if we just somehow finish 13th?
Yeah,
it ain't happening, mate.
We get like an extra 10-15 million from that, won't we, as well? Money.
Yeah.
Would the narrative change around Potter if we finish 13th?
I think the narrative with Potter is justifiable from some people, and I you boys don't agree. And this is why I love E20, because we agree to disagree on it. But I do understand it from the point of people having a lot of fear with Potter, because he don't score many goals. He's got a major rebuild in his hands. He's got to bring everyone in. That's a concern, and this is quite an important thing also. He's got this break clause in his contract, so if it don't go right, he's got to get out of jail free card next year if it ain't going well.
Do we know the terms of that? Just sorry to interrupt. Do we know the terms of that break clause? And we know it's there, but when is it, and what is it?
Well, basically, it's by the end of next season, which I think, if I've got this right, I think it's something to do with like the England job, right? That's what I think it is. Yeah. When Tuchel goes, like, they might go back to an English manager. If Hal doesn't want it, Potter might have it. So,
fuck me. If England fans didn't like Gareth Southgate, they are going to hate Graham Potter. Jesus,
I know, mate. I know, but
if we get rid of Graham Potter, we reset and we go again like we've done before. More misery, more. This is the most important window of our lives.
We'll still.
Yeah, well, I was going to say this. Fucking Mitch is like my clairvoyant, mate, because he keeps saying the things that I'm about to say. Right, to round this video up tonight, right?
You know what I mean?
Give me one manager that you would love to take over West Ham, realistically.
Sorry. Boom.
Sorry, mate. The fag on the in the touchline.
Would you actually, Lucas?
Yeah. It would make me happy. It would make me happy. I don't know about anyone else, but I'd love it.
Yeah. Mitch, who would you have? Any manager you like?
If I could choose any manager, I'd choose myself. No,
you would.
If I could shag anyone in the world, it'd be myself.
Maybe.
Realistically. Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't have faith in any manager signed for West Ham, so purely for the vibes, I'd have Mourinho.
Mourinho vibes. Fucking hell, that'd be epic. Yeah.
I would just love to go.
That would be a real meltdown, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Jay, what about you, mate?
I think Conceição is probably going to leave AC Milan. I'd probably take him, counter-attacking manager, 4-2-3-1. Smokes a cigar in the changing room. Like, yeah, I'd probably go for him, but there's no one out there that like really excites me that we could get, to be honest.
Bring me Mark Noble, mate. Legend. He would be epic.
You really just want to see him just... Actually, never mind. I'm not even going to speak that into the air. You know what would happen if it went wrong, right?
I know exactly what
would tarnish everything he's ever done at this club.
But if it goes right, he'll be a fucking legend, mate. He'll have a statue outside and everything.
You know what, Thomas Frank, slightly unrealistic, but because he's not linked to any big moves, it's still slightly possible.
I would take him in the snap of a finger.
Mate, low block FC, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? I see people saying about Carrick, but Carrick is no longer with us. Do you know what I mean? Long live Carrick. You know what I mean? But I go for his upgrade, Mark Noble. Here you go. Do you know what I mean? Brozovic, get back in your box.
Actually, no.
I will ban you if you carry on.
Actually, no. Never mind. I was going to say something, but
don't speak. Just don't speak about Carrick. That's an L for me. Right, that's us done for an hour. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. I really do appreciate it. It's been a good backwards and forwards. The boys disagree with Potter. Who knows? We will find out. But one thing I will say is that yeah, I definitely think we need a fucking
that'd be a movie.
What?
Oh, Andy Carroll manager.
Player manager. Something so fun.
Yeah, whatever happens in the future, we just have to take it and take it the fucking chin.
He should have always been the hire. It should have always been him as well.
Well, we need a fucking striker. Bring him back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And see what happens. Do you know? Tell a lie. Someone said he's on £800 a week at Bordeaux. Yeah. You know that?
It's costing him
really?
To play for him, yeah. He gave a really good interview on Sky Sports, and he was talking about some West Ham stuff, and then he was talking about Bordeaux. Yeah, it's a good interview.
Oh my god.
Yeah, £800 a week, mate. You know what I mean? And we've got Danny Ings up front. Who would have thought it? Peace.